Alright, doing a response video to this I Like You Newman guy. I call him I Like You Man, but I don't really care for him at this moment. Try not to hit these damn buttons. Alright, this camera I'm using external battery. Yeah, see, I can also do rechargeable batteries. I'm going to make some sort of little connector on there or something. Anyway, but that's beside the point. Anyway, Alright, moral relativism and such. Yeah, it's just such a pile of crap, this discussion. Why is objectivity, or objectivism, or however you want to place that, or a word that, the opposite of moral relativism? Why are we blighted with the burden of the religious fanatics? I mean, isn't morality more, a discussion of morality going to be more about the source of the morality? Right? I mean, is it sourced by logic and the facts, or is it sourced from moronic, idiotic dogma? I mean, why is idiotic, moronic dogma now classified as objective? Because the idiotic dogma creates an objective figure. So if I just create a cartoon character and say he runs the world, I'm now an objectivist. Because I say the dancing unicorn is the source of my morality, I'm now an objectivist. I mean, that's just a pile of crap. Yeah, way to straw man the argument. Um, the argument is about whether or not you as an individual can functionally live your life, okay, without consideration of the rest of the highway, so to speak. So say if you were a car, your morality wouldn't be, well, what makes me feel good? What makes me use less gas? What's easiest on my tires? What's easiest on my transmission? No, the argument's going to be, in this whole collective of cars moving around, how do you best optimize the efficiency? Get the most miles per gallon for the most cars, or whatever the logical standard of value is. And you relativists are assuming there's no absolute standard of value. That's true. You can't escape it. All right? There is an absolute standard of value. We know what the fuck it is. Okay? And we know it's got it's probably a four-letter word, like harm. H-A. Well, I won't spell. R-M, yeah, right? Yeah, it's like a word like that. That's the value, is this capacity to cause something, pain or suffering. That's an absolute. You can't undo it. You can't throw it somewhere relatively and say, okay, because it's in the fucking horsehead galaxy, it all of a sudden doesn't matter if it's screaming in agony. That's just a fact, okay? It's a presumptive fact, but it's one. All the circumstantial evidence points to the fact that suffering is meaningful, that you can't undo the meaning of it. You can't in any way come up with a rational argument that makes it sound logical to say it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. From some perspective, the pain or the suffering is no longer meaningful. You can't do it. Even your silly arguments where you say, well, what if somebody's a sadomasochist and they love pain? Well, the fact is there's something they don't love. There's some mechanism of discomfort that they're capable of feeling. Maybe the absence of pain would be their version of it. But to say that there's such a thing as a sentient organism that has no sense of deprivation, misery, or suffering, I think would be preposterous. Unless they have some sort of disorder, some dysfunction that only makes them capable of feeling generally positive feelings, and like some kind of leprosy or something, all pain is dissolved, and I don't think that would be very functional. But anyway, regardless, it doesn't matter. That's not the point. The point is we know, sitting in our perspective, if we sit there and just say, well, let's go find the most legitimate source for our morality. Let's go find a source to tell us, not a god, not a dogma. We're not going to just grab a tree and say, what's morality, Mr. Tree? No, we're going to do something logical and rational. We're going to sit there and try to find we're going to qualify our sourcing. And we're going to look at the real world and we're going to say what is valuable. And we're going to say these sentient creatures are valuable. This community, this club, this. Well, I wanted to make a video about this, but somebody brought up the word clan in a video. And yeah, this is it. Yeah, we are part of the clan of sentient creatures. And we have to live recognizing that to be functional, efficient, useful, all these words that have value connotation, you just can't be any of those things if you aren't functional within that clan, because that clan is made up of parts that are just as valuable as you, just as equal as you. And your native drives and desires, your selfishness, is not going to be productive to the clan. It's going to be destructive to the clan. Because the clan needs people who are willing to sacrifice to the efficiency of the clan, to the best interest of the clan. And that's the circumstance we are in. In the clan of sentient beings, we can't consume something else's suffering. We can't impose suffering on it without, in effect, imposing it on ourselves. And if we have an understanding that the suffering wouldn't be worth it, that the price would be too high, like slavery or a Holocaust or some other persecution that we wouldn't impose on ourselves as a price for our Twinkies, then imposing it on somebody else doesn't change that equation one single bit in the objective, rational, logical perspective. In that rationally sourced morality, you can't evade. What the hell is autoplaying? Pretty cool, but I don't really want it to do that right now. I guess my hard drive's actually working, because it apparently is going to try to autoplay a fucking 98 gigabyte hard drive. But whatever. Silly computers. So anyway, yeah, hopefully it shouldn't be relevant to this video. So back to what I was saying. Yeah, so I think that the argument, let's have the argument about what is a legitimate source of morality. Your individual, intuitive, I want crap. Let's do this because it's popping up. Folder, please do not play anything. It looks like my copy has been successful. All right. Anyway, yeah, I'll put up some videos copying hard drive, because I was doing that just because the subject came up. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. So let's talk about source, and whether the source of, as if we think the individual organism's selfishness is somehow the most optimized, most well architected, most graceful, most orchestrated, most. These are the things. Okay, intelligence adds value to a judgment. You have to input the intelligence to find the best solution, the most optimum answer. And that's what morality has to be. Words like efficiency and productivity have to be relevant to the word morality or ethics, because that's all the game is about, really. It's a value word, okay? And value is created by this engine of welfare, of capacity to be harmed. And that's what you make it out of. And it's not a relative opinion. It's not a relative, like, how does it affect me personally bullshit. There is an objective truth. There is a truth outside of your opinions or feelings or anything else. It exists. It's a fact. And it is the mission, purpose, use. It is a good use of intelligence to unravel the truth that's out there, that sits out there waiting to be discovered by us with our intelligence. We don't sit around just ask our stomach what we should do. We ask our brain what we should do. And our brain should do logical and rational processing to figure out what we should do. We shouldn't just say, I feel like, because that's not going to necessarily or likely in the context of driving on a crowded highway going to be conducive to the best result. That's going to get you the lesser result, if not worst case possible scenarios when you rationalize an excuse to ignore your context, your circumstantial context, that you are interacting with things of greater or at least equal value to your fucking prick, selfish, relative self. Yeah, so anyway. But anyway, this whole dismissing this as if it doesn't matter in one sense, and as if this is just some sort of, that it only has some personal consequence, whether you're a relative or an objectivist or you're this or no, it doesn't. We all live in a world populated with other valuable things, and unless you're willing to say they are not valuable and you have some evidence to demonstrate that they're not valuable, they have to be part of your moral equation. And your relativity crap doesn't make that a necessity. And it's really got to be a necessity of rational ethics or morality. You can't have rational ethics or morality if you say it is possible to dismiss the existence of 7 billion other people or a trillion other sentient organisms and their future welfare. Okay, enough of a video. So anyway, didn't really, I mean, I don't know why you're caught up on this stupid chaos, anarchy nonsense. It's silly. Come on, grow out of it already. You're going to have to eventually, but you're a little too smart to be this silly. So anyway, enough of a video. Get this camera out first, because this one has better sound, I believe. It's my informed but personal opinion. Alright, I gotta remember to turn the power off, turn the video off. Then I have to hit the reset button. I forgot about that. Technical issues here. Uh-oh. Okay, looks okay. It's a little dicey. Okay, looks like I managed it. Yeah, yeah. I gotta get all these bugs worked out eventually. Okay, now I go here. And thank you very much, and such. Next time. This button's a little